I'm Chris Roig. I'm the Director of Sales Engineering at NetChecks, a leader in cloud-based HR and payroll technology made for companies with large hourly workforces, but works great for everyone, especially dealerships. In fact, today I want to talk to you about why dealerships really need to embrace payroll and HR technology. Here's the reality, guys, is that the technology and the cars that we sell has changed dramatically over the last several years. But the technology we're using in the back office, the stuff that manages our most important asset, no, I'm not talking about the cars. I'm talking about your people. The reality is that technology hasn't evolved. It hasn't changed much, at least not in the dealership space. Now, it's changed around you, but auto dealers really could benefit by embracing the latest in payroll and HR tech to remain competitive in your space and continue to provide a great experience for your employees, which then they in turn will provide a great experience for your customers. I'm going to break this down into three categories today, but the first category that I really want to look at is all about back office efficiency. And when I talk about back office efficiency, I'm talking about our controllers, our HR directors. Look, this is a busy group of people, especially around month end or on payroll week. But by leveraging technology, we can really free them up from working the horror stories that I hear, long hours and weekends and facing burnout, maybe even moving to an industry that doesn't quite have that same ask. And we can actually make their lives easier, guys, by leveraging technology, which then makes them more productive and more efficient, which then allows us to scale our dealerships without adding headcount to the back office. Because less paper in the process means less effort from our people and yields better results. Now, let me tell you what I'm talking about here when I mention back office efficiency. I'm really going to break this into two levels. Now, the first one is about some of the basics, hiring, onboarding, and how we can automate some of those repetitive tasks around bringing on new talent. There's great technology out there that can help you find and interview and hire the best people. And then when we hire them, to help you onboard them quickly without having to bring them into the office the first day. I mean, look, here's the reality, guys. Like, that's your first chance to make a good impression on your new hire. And if we're not leveraging technology, we're kind of wasting that opportunity. I mean, look, my kids don't have textbooks at school anymore. They have Chromebooks. They expect to be doing everything electronically, especially our millennials, our Gen Zs. Look, if you hand somebody in Gen Z some high-tech equipment like this, right, paper and pen, they're going to look at you like you are crazy and start to think, man, did I make the right choice joining this dealership? I'm not really sure. Not only that, but then, we've got controllers spending time printing out new hire packets, passing employees pieces of paper, checking to make sure that they signed everything right. Guys, that's not efficient. I don't want my controllers and my payroll clerks, I don't want to have to pay somebody to print off a W-4 and hand it to an employee and then take that back and then go key it into some payroll system somewhere. Guys, there's technology that employees can do that right from their phones. And then we'll just use that data to go update everything in the appropriate places, their payroll, their benefits, all of that's updated automatically. So we don't have to spend time keying that into various platforms. Now, once we have a new hire, we really need to start looking at, okay, great. Hey, how do I manage that person's punches, their PTO, their flag time? And again, a lot of times this is a manual process. Now, sure, they're punching into the DMS, right? I might punch into CDK for time, but too often there's no visibility into that. The only person who can see it is the payroll clerk or the controller. And so at the end of the pay period, they got to print out these reports, pass them around. People are scratching stuff out and giving it back to them. Guess it's a total waste of time. And your controllers, they're not the cheapest employees at the dealership. With modern payroll and HR tech, employees can easily punch in and punch out. They can submit a punch correction request if they miss a punch or punch in at the wrong time. Plus, we can help track all of their PTO balances automatically. Look, with more and more states requiring sick time and these complex calculations around, for every 30 hours you work, you get 1 hour of sick time. Guys, we got to put this on autopilot, not only to free up our team and our back office, but also to make sure we're staying compliant and following the letter of the law. It's just a huge miss for us to be tracking this in a spreadsheet somewhere or tracking this in a binder. And it just creates too much risk. It costs too much time and creates too much opportunity for error where we wind up overpaying vacation because we forgot to update when somebody took a week off. With modern technology, employees can self-serve, which means I don't have to take the time to run the reports, make the corrections myself, go check the book or the balance when somebody wants to put in some PTO. All of that is completely automated. And the next place where we're really able to make a big impact, and kind of all of this is in that level one efficiency, is really around benefits. When do people become eligible for benefits? This is a big pain point. I'm putting reminders in my calendar, and again, I'm passing out papers to the employee to go enroll in benefits, and I'm trying to put a reminder to follow up with them after I give them the paperwork. Guys, this is a huge miss for us again, and it creates an opportunity for risk. We're spending tons of time trying to track this down and get that paperwork back, but then what happens if we miss their eligibility date? And even if we get back the paperwork on time, then I have to go key all those deductions into payroll. And how easy is it for me to make a mistake, key something wrong, and then I have to go back to the employee, oh, sorry, hey, I forgot to start taking your benefit deduction, so I'm gonna have to double up on your next couple checks. Don't even get me started on ACA and the 1095Cs at the end of the year, and how I talk to controllers all the time. They're like, oh, I just locked my door in January and don't talk to me for a week and a half because I got to do the 1095Cs. Like, it's a pain. Now, you might even be outsourcing that to somebody and you say, oh, I've got somebody that does it. But when we dig in, what we find a lot of times is the controller's still tracking that. They're putting together a spreadsheet every month with who's on benefits and what they were offered and trying to track all these codes. Guys, there's technology out there that can automate all of this for you. And we're going to talk at the end about why NetChecks is the best for dealers and how we're able to really start to automate all of this and put this on autopilot so that you guys can create more efficiencies, put more time back into your controllers' days so that they can focus on what we really want them focused on: closing out the books, watching out for our money, making sure the financials are in order, and then allowing us to really scale the dealership without adding additional headcount. And so these level one tasks are all about creating efficiencies in our back office. As we move into level two, really what we're starting to talk about now is creating a modern employee experience. Guys, there's a real war on talent out there. Finding great technicians, great salespeople, it's tough. We really need to make sure that we're providing a great experience for our employees. And by leveraging tech, we can really start to get to that next level. Just a quick story. I was actually watching a news article today talking about the future of work. And guys, there's a real challenge coming, not just to the auto industry, to every industry, where we literally are not going to have enough workers. Today, there's about a 1-to-1 ratio. There's about 11 million open jobs, about 11 million people looking for work. But that number is projected to where we are going to have 7 million workers exiting the workforce. And that's going to be boomers and Xers who are retiring. And guys, there's not enough millennials and Gen Z and Gen Alpha coming into the workforce to replace them. Now, AI will help with some of that, but people with talent, people with the skills that you need, with experience, it's going to be even harder to find those people. And when we find them, to keep them. And so we need to start talking about, hey, how are we going to create a great employee experience? Because if we don't, other dealerships and other industries around us are going to start taking our best people. So in level two, we start talking about automating things like recognition, really creating a culture of recognition, which studies show actually encourages employees to go above and beyond. In fact, they report that they're twice as likely to go above and beyond when they feel like they'll be recognized. We can automate things like Q&A. One study by the Society of Human Resources, SHRM, showed that HR professionals spend up to 40% of their time answering employee questions. And look, if you talk to a Gen Z lately, they don't want to talk to people. They want to talk to a machine. They want to get an answer. We live in an instant gratification society. Anything I want to know is just a ChatGPT prompt away, except for my company information. And when I talk to the HR folks and controllers, it's the same questions all the time. Guys, it's a win-win to automate this. Upload your company documents into an HR platform and let AI answer the employees' questions for them. The employee gets what they want, a fast answer so they can make decisions. Hey, do we offer paternity leave? Is Black Friday a company holiday? I don't want to have to wait until Monday when HR is back in the office to get my answer. I want my answer today. Plus, we're creating some efficiencies with this too, where your controllers aren't spending time answering the same questions over and over for your employees. We're creating a better experience for employees and creating some back office efficiencies. Total win-win. Performance, making sure that employees are getting feedback about, hey, what are we doing and how am I performing in my job? We want to automate that process to create efficiencies, but also to create a better employee experience. Now, look, I'm not talking about, a once a year annual review and somebody filling out a piece of paper and tracking that Excel. Forget all that. That's a total waste of time. We're putting all of this in autopilot. And then we're elevating the employee experience so they're getting real-time feedback about their performance. They know exactly where they stand in all areas of the business. Plus, by aligning all of our company objectives and aligning our employee goals, we can get better results from our team because they know what's expected of them, why it matters, and where they stand relative to their major milestones and major goals. And I'm talking about that for all of the business, not just for sales. As we start to measure performance, what we find is, hey, you know what? We might need to do some development with some of our employees. Creating a culture of learning and development really elevates that employee experience, giving them the skills that they need to do a good job. Now, I know I talk to some folks and they say, oh, yeah, but what if I spend all that time developing employees and they get these skills and they take them somewhere else? Yeah, that could happen. But you know what's worse than that? Them not developing the skills and continuing to work for you. We've got to create this culture of learning. And here's the reality, guys, is that when employees feel like they're being developed, they're more loyal and they're more likely to stay with you because they see the opportunity to advance and they see how you're pouring into them. Maybe it's management skills. Maybe it's skills on how to work or Office 365. We need to be focused on how are we developing our employees, whether that's at new hire or at some other journey in the employee lifecycle. Really important place for that is, hey, I have a new manager. The last time I checked, great managers don't grow on trees. A lot of times we have to build those skills in them. And a great way to do that is through payroll and HR tech. Here's the other reality is your existing managers might need this. People don't quit jobs, they quit managers. Now your managers can be empowered to deliver a great employee experience to your team, boosting your retention, lowering your turnover costs, and making you an employer of choice in your market. Guys, as dealers, we don't have the luxury of hiring remote. I'll just go find the best person. No, I've got to find people in my market that can turn wrenches, sell cars at my dealership. I need to be an employer of choice in my market. And the third reason that you need really good payroll and HR tech is because you need integration to your back office platform, your DMS. And so customers using CDK should use NetChecks as their payroll and HR tech because we have real integration, and that makes NetChecks the best solution for dealers using CDK. And I'm not talking about just, oh, hey, yeah, we can integrate to CDK and we'll figure it out once we get you live. I'm talking about real pre-built integration between your HRIS, your payroll platform, and your DMS. Because we need to be able to get flag time and commissions out of the DMS into payroll easily. Just a few clicks, and all of that data flows directly into NetChecks. On the back end, all of your journal entries in your GL flows back into CDK by employee so that you can control your WIP accounts on employee number and by outsourcing payroll, not break WIP. We've already figured that out for you because NetChecks is the best solution for dealers using CDK because we've already worked through all of this and have those integrations pre-built and ready to go for you. So why do auto dealers need great payroll and HR tech to remain competitive? Well, because we've got to be able to scale our back office. We've got to create efficiencies to free up our controllers from the mundane, repetitive processes that they're stuck in. We need to create a great employee experience if we want to be able to attract, hire, and keep great people in today's competitive market and tomorrow's super competitive market. And if it's not integrated to the DMS, it's going to create headaches and heartaches on the back end. With NetChecks and CDK, you can have exactly that. The best payroll and HR tech for dealers integrated to your DMS. Want to see it in action? Let's take a look. Creating efficiency really starts with our hiring process. And NetChecks does a great job with helping you get jobs posted and taking candidates through. Then, when the employee is hired, we're grabbing all of that information like taxes and direct deposits, I-9s, electronically, and using that to automatically update the employee's profile. Push out your handbook, push out your policies, have the employee just sign off electronically, and free up your controllers from spending time messing with paper forms, trying to make sure the employees filled it out correctly, and then updating all of that in your payroll system. Use after onboarding, we make it easy to track time, put in a punch correction request, all freeing up the controllers from having to print reports and send out information and try and get everybody to scratch that out. And now we're actually making it simple for employees to put in a punch request. Hey, can you change this punch for me? I forgot to punch me out at 5 o'clock. We're also helping manage PTO, where we're tracking the balances, sharing that information with employees in their mobile app, even forecasting how much time they would have available when the time of the request comes about. So we make it easy for them. Plus, all the requests are submitted electronically and automatically synced to payroll. When it comes to benefits, simply allow us to build out your benefit plans. Now, look, we're not going to change your plans or change your broker. We'll just build out all the information and share it with your employees. We'll automatically notify them when they become eligible, so you don't have to track that in a spreadsheet or on a calendar somewhere. NetChecks has that automated for you. When employees go in and tell us about their dependents and beneficiaries and then make their plan elections, we'll use that data to automatically update payroll based on what they've elected in their mobile app experience. We're really making it a super simple and easy process for employees that turns into a very efficient process in the back office, freeing up time for your controllers and payroll admins. And when it comes time for payroll, NetChecks is the best payroll for automotive dealers using CDK because of our one-screen payroll dashboard that gives you visibility into things that could be an issue on payroll day, plus the control to take action when you need to so that you can run payroll with confidence. Our payroll readiness score shows you exactly how ready you are for payroll, whether payroll's starting today or next week. With our visibility into what's going on, you can easily see anything that needs your attention. Maybe it's a time and attendance issue, or an onboarding task that hasn't been completed, or an employee change that needs to be reviewed and approved before we process payroll. Don't waste time running around and going to different pages in the application to find everything you need. Our one-screen payroll gives you visibility into all of those items. Plus, right from the dashboard, you have the control to take action. Got some missed punches? Well, just notify your employees. They get a push notification on their phone and are empowered to take action to make the correction. Then they've made the corrections and we need the managers to approve. Well, great. Click the button and notify your approvers. Or if you're ready to go ahead with payroll and you've got a few managers that are holding you up, you have the control to take action yourself and approve those PTO requests or approve those punch requests right from your dashboard. With the NetChecks one-screen payroll, you have the visibility and control you need to run payroll with confidence. Plus, once you get into payroll, our pre-built import formats make it easy to bring flag time in directly from CDK or commissions directly from your Excel files. Plus, after payroll is done, we'll push a file back to CDK with all of your journal entry updates controlled by employee so we can control WIP and make sure we're clearing your WIP accounts back in CDK. NetChecks is the best for automotive dealers using CDK because we create back office efficiencies through our employee self-service and our innovative one-screen payroll. And it doesn't stop with just creating back office efficiencies. We also need to create a great employee experience. With NetChecks, your employees have access to a world-class mobile app, putting everything they need right at their fingertips. Tools like Ask HR allow employees access to information they need, whether that's related to a company policy like, hey, what are our holidays or what's my medical deductible? Or it's maybe related to, hey, how do I put a customer into the eLead software or greet a customer when they come to the sales floor? With Ask HR, employees have access to the information they need right when they need it. We live in an instant gratification society. I can find out anything I need from Google or ChatGPT unless it has to do with our company documents, and then I have to ask a controller or an HR person and wait for them to get back to me? No way. With NetChecks, they have access to the information they need right at their fingertips. And it also helps create some efficiency for your team who don't have to waste time answering the same employee questions over and over again. We also help create a great experience with recognition, where employees know that they'll be recognized for a job well done. We automate recognition for birthdays and anniversaries, plus give employees the opportunity to give a shout out to a peer, letting them know, hey, I really appreciate you. When employees know they'll be recognized, they're twice as likely to go above and beyond for a customer and have an 89% higher sense of drive and determination. With our performance, we're helping bring an AI coach to the flow, whether it's the unfortunate incident of a disciplinary action or just the annual performance review. We want to ensure that the feedback we're giving to our employees is meaningful and impactful so that they can get better. Managers have the opportunity to get real-time coaching in the flow of performance. As they're writing feedback and comments, we'll actually run that through our rubric and share feedback about that comment with the manager, helping them improve the information they're sharing with your team. This really helps develop the employees and give them real meaningful coaching that they can actually use to get better. And ultimately, that means a better employee experience and a better experience for your customers. Plus, employees can easily take training courses right from the mobile app, meaning they'll develop the skills they need to have an even better performance review next year. See, with NetChecks, we're helping create a better employee experience so that you can find the best people, get those people engaged, keep them working at your company, and ultimately have a more productive workforce with lower turnover costs and higher outputs. And at the end of the day, isn't that what we're all about? See, you need great payroll and HR software so that you can scale your back office efficiently, free up your controllers from working long days and weekends, create a better employee experience to become an employer of choice in your market. And NetChecks is the best option for payroll and HR because we integrate deeply with your DMS, where you can bring all of your flag time from CDK right into payroll. And after payroll, we'll push all the journal entries back into CDK by employee number so you can control WIP. If your payroll and HR software isn't deeply integrated with your DMS, it's going to cause some headaches and heartaches along the way. NetChecks is the number one option for dealerships running CDK DMS. Hey, I hope you learned something in the video today. Until next time, bye for now.